Proverbs Tuesday. That's right. It's Proverbs Tuesday. It's your man, Pastor P, here with you, Pastor Pope, and just so glad to be able to be with you and glad to be back doing these Proverbs with you. How have you been doing? Hopefully, you have been reading through the Proverbs and they've been a blessing to you. It's really that simple that a proverb a day might keep the devil away, might keep evil away, but it will certainly make us wiser for sure. Because the word says that it says the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord. And I don't know what you fear, but you should certainly fear the Lord. And that fear is a word that means respect and awe and wonder, and that can lead itself to an opportunity to be rendered totally just feeling like I am so small in his presence, which leads to that deeper emotion we feel when you think about God and what he can do and who he is. So I'm just glad to be able to be here with you today. This is the first day of October. Shout out to birthdays in October. If you have a birthday today, happy birthday. I do happen to know one man of God that has a birthday today, Kenny Washington. Just want to shout him out. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Kenny. We're glad that God created you, and I'm glad to be able to be here with you. So may the Lord bless you. May he cause his face to shine upon all of you, and may you have peace. Today's proverb, again, this is the October 1, so the first day in verse 22. I'm going to put it on the screen for you. Give me a second here. Boom. There it is in front of you. Check this verse out. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? How long will scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? Again, you see that verse there, and that's a great verse. And I entitled this Proverbs Tuesday, "It is that simple," because it is that simple, right? To pay attention to wisdom, to pay attention to truth from those who are sharing truth, those who are experiencing truth. And what's interesting today in this verse, I'm looking back to the verse, it says, "How long, O simple ones?" So that the Hebrew word here for simple ones, pethi, is interesting. Is what's so interesting about this is you could transliterate this petty. You know what I mean? You could if you really wanted to be funny with it, and that's funny to me. But this word is a word that actually means to be without knowledge, to be ignorant or foolish. It just continues to narrow in on something negative as you push it. And you could tell in this particular proverb because it says, "How long, O simple ones?" How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? And when you hear that from the New King James, how long being simple, you'd be like, what does that actually mean, being simple? In this case, and I always subscribe to using other translations if you can. Today, the CSB, the Christian Standard Bible, that's published by Holman, that particular translation is not a different Bible. It's just a different translation of the original text. You got guys out there saying things that are just not true. It's just another translation of the biblical text. And in this verse in CSB, it reads this way. I want to read it to you. It says, "How long, inexperienced ones, will you love ignorance? How long will you mockers enjoy mocking and you fools hate knowledge?" And so in that one, it helps us because even though it's the same Hebrew word for both, that's why in the King James, New King James, it tries to keep it along those lines. So if you use simple ones, it went back to simple. But I think for us here in our Western mindset, we need a little bit more clarity. And the CSB does give us clarity here. He's saying, how long those without wisdom, um, and it could be intentional or not, but it seems in this case it's intentional, and that's the thing. It's intentional. How long you're simple, right? Not simple like something that's easy. Even we use simple in a way. I thought about it growing up. People say, "Man, you're so simple," and they don't mean like just refined and things are easy, but they just mean in some kind of way it's a negative thing, right? I remember people saying things like that to other people when I grew up. And so here, The simple ones, and then you love being simple. You love ignorance. You love foolishness. That's what he's saying. And he's just like, how long are you going to keep being foolish? That's what this proverb is getting at. That's the essence of the proverb. That's the meaning. And I know today a lot of people think, well, that's just your meaning. That's just what you think. But as you study the biblical text, as you understand and know God, you begin to understand what God's desire and will is for us. And you study the words and study the language, and you can have a really good understanding of what God was relaying to his people. So in this one, so how long? You who are not pursuing wisdom, will you love just being foolish? And then how long will scoffers delight? Look at what it says, delight in their scoffing. And then he uses the word here, fools hate knowledge. That's a great question. It's that simple. How long are we going to be without the wisdom we need? Now we got the internet, we got access to a plethora. That's a whole lot of information. Just because you have information does not mean you have wisdom. But there are so many people out there that we could go to and get wisdom. Now I'll tell you what, something that keeps us from seeking out wisdom is pride. It's putting ourselves in the way, thinking we are the cornerstone of the information. We have information. We're just as smart. We're good enough, and we don't need others' input. Be careful, because that'll only take you as far as you go, and that you're able to go. And you might find out that's not as far as you have been made to believe. All right. I happen to understand that God created us in his likeness and his image. He's given us all different gifts and capacities of being intellectual, but most of us think we're smarter than we actually are. And as we're aging, I can say for sure we're losing that edge and opportunity. Well, we have way more data to deal with, but the reasoning and the way to get to that data, our memories, all those things are changing. But when you seek the Lord and when you rest in the wisdom of God, it leads you to tremendous success. And I want to see you successful. I want to see you wise. I don't want to see you being marked as the fool. And I don't think you want to be foolish either. I think you want to be informed. I think you want to be in the know. I think that's the whole thing with fake news. We don't want fake news, but it's all over the place. It's all around us. We want to know the truth, and we want to know wisdom. We want to be wise. And we need wisdom in order to display that kind of knowledge. So I just ask you, how long? How long will you be without truth? How long will you be without information? How long will you just do something the same way? It's often stated that Einstein said that to do something over and over and over is insanity. And often we do things over and over and over without consulting God for sure, godly people, or even people that might be in the know. So my encouragement for you today, my instruction for you today would be, do me a favor and ask somebody around you who you believe is wise. Just ask them a question. Might be a question that you want to know the answer to. Might be a life type question. Might be a God question. It'd be great to ask somebody around you a God question. Who do you understand God to be? Who is Jesus to you? What are your spiritual beliefs? I mean, just ask somebody something, someone that you think is wise, and just hear what they're saying and ask them, how did they come to that understanding? To show that you are a seeker of wisdom and you're just not satisfied with what you already know. You would be more satisfied with a deep understanding of truth. And I believe that'll serve you well. I think it is really that simple. So may the Lord bless you today. It's so good to be back with you. I'm excited to actually be back with you. And it's been an amazing summer. And we're out of summer. We're back. And hopefully these proverbs will be coming at you every Tuesday, Lord willing. Until then, love God, hate sin, count it all joy until you learn how to have fun.